Oh man, I guess here's another video. It's night right now. Got to the gym a little bit later, and yeah, what's been going on in my mind? I think ideas. I was thinking about ideas, and I was thinking about how people are so quick to like put ideas down. At least, I don't know, that's how I find, or I find everyone thinks that, you know what I mean? And I think you don't have to execute every single idea you have. And I think you should be open to like freely express ideas, if that makes sense. Because if you go, oh, this might be like not a good idea, or this might be a bad idea, if you kind of overthink that, then it's just like you have no motion, you know what I mean? And that's kind of, I guess that's kind of the thing with me, like just making like these off the cuff videos right now. Not that it's not like a common thing people do, because there obviously are, like most YouTubers are off the cuff, right? But I thought if I just like start making videos and just start talking about whatever, then it just kind of primes the pump, you know what I mean? Where there are ideas deep in there, you know what I mean? I think everyone has like ideas to channel, and you should just get better at channeling. Like the whole thing with like Michael Jackson and Prince, how like whenever Michael had an idea, he'd like wake everyone up and be like, "Oh, I gotta go to the studio because like Prince is gonna like, God's gonna give this to Prince or whatever." That's like a common thing. I think a lot of people know about that. But that's what I think, and I think genuinely, I started writing a bit. You know what I mean? Like I started kind of writing a bit of a book because I've had kind of this concept of this book, which I'm not gonna go so far into. But I was like, man, I need to just get these ideas out, and like as I've started to just do things and started to create, what I find is structure comes sometimes after. And sometimes when you're called upon to do something, it just starts coming and coming and coming. You know what I mean? And like, you don't have to have the entire thing out, because it's just there to flow out. You know what I mean? The whole, I don't really know like how I want to word this, but the whole like creative process, essentially just going through the creative process and realizing it is a process, and it's not just because the end state isn't there. There's always going to be delayed gratification in everything you do, whether it's learning other people's music, whether it's writing music, whether it's writing a book, whether it's starting a business, whether it's exercising, right? So if that's how the world works, like, it's so funny that you can look at everything around you and people think nothing of it. There's pavement, there's asphalt, there's city planning, there's like markets, there's economies, there's all of these things that exist, and people just can think, oh, this isn't going to work or that's not going to work. And it's like, not to justify, say, like colonization, but like if you look at how like empires were created, you look at Egypt, you look at Rome, you look at Europe, you look at all these like Mesopotamia, those were like at some point it was just empty. And those ideas came from people, and people can like, the whole point of self-expression and fulfillment, and people go, oh, the meaning of life and shit like that, oh, we're getting deep, but the whole point of that is the creative process, creating and going through that. And the reason people are mostly like, anyone that you meet is that's going to be unfulfilled is because they're not creating. Do you know what I mean? And everyone's called upon to do everything, and I think that's another reason why like um the West, like people that are just doing jobs, it's like you're not following your passion, and then people aren't really always taught how to exist in like a monetary fashion of their passion. And it's so funny that it's like as soon as someone starts to do something in terms of like what they're like, oh, these are my interests, right? No one ever talks about business plans or like marketing or sales, because you can do that pretty much to any kind of offer. Do you know what I mean? In any passion that anyone has, for the most part, you can, there can be a monetary outcome that is like not necessarily always self-serving, right? Because if you're called upon to do something, unless it's like not going to add any value to anyone, or like for the most part, I think especially education and ideas, and like there's obviously coaching, and like everyone needs a guidance counselor when they're in like high school and stuff like that. So there's value to pretty much anything, you know what I mean? And being able to take value out of other people, like you look at like people like Tony Robbins and like all these different people. I can't even like rattle off like some of the names right now, but like I think like Brian Tracy and man, I don't know what there's like a couple other guys that I listen to. But you look at that and some people kind of look at those people and go, oh man, you know, those are like just, you know, they're just spouting and people are going to their seminars and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but like people actually get inspiration and value out of doing that, and they can actually like fulfill their purpose and bring value to other people's lives. I'm just going so off right now on so many different things. But I think like, oh, where I was gonna, I kind of wanted to end it on something, but I can't remember what I was gonna say now, like, or where this was going. But I think, yeah, okay, this is what I was gonna say. You know how people can kind of go, oh, you know, someone's gonna play music or whatever, like there's no value in that. It's like, how many, like, this may sound like so ridiculous, like just dad rock type thing, but if you look at the band AC/DC or like Metallica or something, it's like, how many houses did those bands energize people to go through? Like so many like random friggin' construction workers and random people working, and like that like fuels like some kind of emotion to like just like pull energy out of them to get something done. It's like that's like human energy exchange, really, and that's what music is, and that's what people need, you know what I mean? And like people go to seminars or stuff like that, or they listen to anyone talking, and it's like it's just ignition sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, all that energy was just there and you just needed to get it like out there and get it, you know what I mean? Like you gotta prime the pump. So that's maybe, I guess this is kind of what this video is about. It's like priming the pump, and like this is what we're doing right now because everything went completely, you know, here, there, and everywhere. But like it seems like we've kind of gotten to the end of this. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of people got a lot out of this. Like probably like fucking 30 million people, 100%. So yeah, take it easy. See ya.